In this video, I'd like to give a short overview of how to use the RPGBoss editor. So let's create a new project, choose a name for it, and here we are. First, on the left, you can see all the different available tiles that you can use, and there's actually multiple tabs with even more tiles. Let's get started by creating a grass field. So just select the grass tile, select the pencil tool, and you can just start drawing. Or you can use the rectangle tool and draw a little bit faster. There we go. Let's also just create a simple room like this. There. Now, currently the player is starting at this location, as indicated by this play button. But you can change the start location by right-clicking and choosing Set Start Location. Okay. Another concept of RPGBoss is layers. So you can draw multiple tiles on top of each other. And right now we've been drawing on the bottom layer. But if you want to do, for example, if you want to add decorations, if you want to draw decorations like bushes on top of this grass field, you want to draw them on a higher layer. So we switch to the middle layer, and let's say we want to draw some plants on top of this. There we go. And they're drawn on top of the grass tiles. And note that you can also select multiple tiles at once, so you can create bigger decorations. Okay, so that's the concept of layers. Another important concept is that of events. And events are used to create multiple different things. You can use events to represent enemy characters, non-player characters, or if you want to create something like a treasure chest that contains items. So let's create an event to represent a non-player character. So you can just right-click, choose New Event, and then this dialog shows up where you can configure the event. First, you choose what the event looks like. So you can choose from all different kinds of characters or a treasure chest. Let's take this old lady. There we go. That's our non-player character. And over here on the right, you have this big empty window where you can define the behavior of this character. And it's basically a script that gets executed on a certain trigger. And this trigger is configured over here. And right now it's set to button. That means that the player has to walk up to this character and press the space bar, and then you will execute the script over here. Another option is touch by player, and then the player only has to touch this character, and then the script over here will be executed. Next, we have to choose our animation type. Right now it's set to none, which means that this character won't move at all. Or you can choose follow player, or the character can move randomly. Let's choose that. So that's the animation type. And then finally, let's actually define the behavior of this character. And to do this, just double click, and then you get a list of all the different types of the commands that are available in the game. For example, if you're creating an event for a shopkeeper, you can add an open store command, and this will open a shop dialog window in the game. There's also the show text command, so you can just show a text dialogue in the game. You can retrieve input from the player, or you could teleport the player to a different map. You can give additional experience to the player or heal the player. When you're creating an event for a treasure chest, then you would typically use this command to put an item into the chest. And yeah, there's a lot of different commands that you can choose from, and most of them speak for themselves. So for this example, let's choose just show text, and our character will just say, hey, and that's it. And now we've added our command into this script, and we're done. So that's an example of a non-player character. Now let's try creating an enemy. So again, new event, we choose a sprite, and over here I know there are some monsters, so I'll take this one. That's what our monster looks like. It will be triggered by touching it, and our command is now start battle. And this command actually has a parameter that you have to choose. You have to choose which type of battle that should be initiated. And there's multiple different options. You can fight one goblin, you can fight 3 goblins. There's several options. So let's pick this one. And there we go. We've added our command. And that's enough. There we go. And now we can try to play the game and see if these events actually work. So click the play button, save the changes, start a new game. Okay, so here are our events, and this one is moving randomly as we specified, and if we walk up to it, it says hey. And if we walk up to the monster, it starts a new battle. So that works. Okay. And then finally, a couple more small things. If you want to see the properties that each tile has, you can see this in the resources dialog. Open it up and go to tile sets. And here you can see all the different properties of each tile. And the most important property is passability. And what this shows is, for example, here the grass tile has a check mark on it, and that means that the player is able to walk over this type of tile. But if you look at a tile with a cross on it, that means that the player cannot walk over this tile. And there's a couple different properties that each tile has. So that's that. And finally, there is the database dialog, where you can configure all sorts of different options of the game. For example, you can tweak the statistics of your characters, like how much health they start with, how much armor they have, what attack power they have, all sorts of different stats that you can configure. The same thing for enemies. So you can see all the different enemies that are available in the game, and you can tweak their health, their attack power, their armor, etc. This tab is also interesting. So remember when we created an enemy character and we used the start battle command, you had to choose an encounter. And this is where you can configure all the different encounters available in the game. Finally, there's also system, which has some general settings of the game, like the game's title, which splash screen image to use, and which music to use. And yeah, that's about it. So that covers the basics on how to use the RPGBoss editor, and that's it. Have fun.